All right, let's dive right in. We're about to look at the story of a town pushed to the absolute brink, a community staring down total annihilation. This is their story, their stand, the Siege of Apfeldernburg. Right from the get-go, you can just feel the exhaustion and the fear. This isn't the quiet after a battle. It's that horrible, tense silence before the next one. The town is hurt, it's tired, but man, is it wide awake. And boom! Here are the stakes, laid out plain and simple. 3 massive problems, all hitting at the same time. The enemy is still out there, the town's best defenders are scattered, and the clock? It is absolutely ticking. It's just a perfect storm of bad news. So what do you do when you're faced with that? How does a whole community respond? Well, let's look at the huge decision they made right at the start, the one that would decide everything. This, right here, this is the moment. The town leaders, Thane, Jeremiah, and Father Eric, get together and they make a choice. Instead of running, scattering, and probably getting picked off one by one, they decide to stand their ground. They're going to turn their own home into a fortress. But, making a stand is one thing. Actually having the muscle to back it up, that's something else entirely. And the town's best fighters, this group of adventurers, they've got a serious problem. Okay, so here's our roster. You've got Thane the Bard, Roberto the Samurai, and Calypso the Wizard holding down the fort in Apfeldern. But look at this. Out in the wilderness are Cedric the Druid, Okazaki the other samurai, and Talinar the Ranger. The party is literally cut in half. And this just shows you what a strategic nightmare they're in. All the leadership and magical brains are in town, but a huge chunk of their raw power, 2 samurai, a druid, a ranger, they're completely out of the picture. They are in a desperate race against time to get back before the enemy does. So, with half their heavy hitters gone, do the folks in Apfeldern just sit on their hands and wait? No way. They kick off one of the most desperate, frantic construction projects you can imagine. First up, Thane the Bard. He steps into a new role. He takes these ordinary villagers, farmers, smiths, people who've already lost so much, and he starts turning them into a militia. He's not just teaching them how to hold a spear, he's giving them the courage not to break. At the same time, you've got Roberto, the samurai. He becomes this incredible architect of war. He completely reorganizes the town, using every cart and wagon he can find to build these deadly choke points and kill zones. It's classic siege defense, right? You make the enemy fight on your turf, on your terms. He's turning the streets they grew up on into a death trap. And this quote, wow, it just captures the brutal truth of their plan. This isn't about building pretty walls. It's a grim, ugly, practical design meant to make the enemy pay in blood for every single inch of ground they take. And then we have Calypso. Her job is maybe the most nerve-wracking of all. She takes up a post by the river, which is the town's weakest spot, and she just waits. And you have to wonder, is she looking for her friends to return or for the first sign of the enemy? The answer, of course, is both. And finally, they make it back. Cedric, Okazaki, and Talinar arrive. But the Apfeldern they come back to isn't the same place they left. It's harder, sharper. All that small-town innocence is gone, and in its place is this grim resolve of people ready to fight for their lives. The team is back together, but the real fight is just about to start. So, everyone's reunited, the defenses are as ready as they're gonna be, and now comes the hardest part. The waiting. 12 days. I mean, just think about that. For nearly 2 weeks, you wake up every single morning with one thought, is today the day? Every snapping twig, every shadow on the horizon, the tension must have been unbearable. It's a psychological war, long before the first arrow flies. And you can see how it all escalates on this timeline. The first few days are just this whirlwind of work and a happy, if tense, reunion. But then you have more than a week of just pure, agonizing suspense, sharpening blades, saying prayers, and just waiting. Until finally, on that 12th day, the silence breaks. And oh, does it break. The wait is over. The enemy is here. Can you even imagine hearing that? That sound that starts as just a faint rumble on the edge of hearing, and then it just grows and grows until it's this undeniable promise of violence. Those horns aren't just a signal, they're the sound of doom knocking on your door. And just when you think all hell is about to break loose, the chaos pauses. The whole horde just stops, and this one single figure comes forward. It's a chilling moment, because it tells you this isn't some mindless mob. it has a leader. And what a leader. This commander is just the embodiment of dark power. He's riding this huge, terrifying white wolf, a warg. He's wearing a necklace of bones carved with magic runes, and he's holding a staff that just looks ancient and evil. This is the mind behind the monster army. And the final command he gives his army, this horde of savage hyena-like creatures called gnolls, it isn't a word. It's not a tactic. It's just a raw, primal scream of pure hunger, a sound that tells everyone exactly what they came for, to devour Apfeldern. And with that one sound, the army surges forward. And there it is, all the fortifications, all the training, the 12 agonizing days of waiting, it all comes down to this one single explosive moment. Everything they've done is now put to the test. So that's the question we're left with, right? A fortified village full of farmers and heroes against a hungry, vicious army led by some kind of dark sorcerer. When these two forces slam into each other, who is going to be left standing when the sun comes up?